have exciting news for you guys. So I have been posting on LinkedIn consistently, let's say end of March, beginning of April, but I haven't actually tracked my results till late April, like beginning of May, when I started documenting my journey, trying to reach this $1 million revenue. And here are the results of me posting consistently on LinkedIn. If I'm going to measure the past 90 days impression results, it has grown for about 59.6% only, but dig this. My result based on a 1 year, if you filter it for 1 year, 365-day result, I have grown 939% impression rate. And the engagement rate, if I look at the 90 days result, it's only 67.1%. But if I will look at the 365-day growth, it's a whopping 1,378%. Amazing results. Although my current number of followers has grown only for about 20% since I started measuring it, but I had a lot of leads. Although there's not like completed sales yet, but there's a lot of leads, and I have received 2 speaking engagements, 1 podcast guest, and every time I meet the people I know, and I've known a lot more new people, they have said that, hey, I've seen your LinkedIn and you're doing a great work. Hey, you have inspired me to post more on LinkedIn. Hey, I always see your posts on LinkedIn, and I have received messages that they are thanking me for the value that I give on LinkedIn, like helping them post consistently, help them go on video, help them produce a lot of videos, and a lot of them have been influenced to post more on LinkedIn. So as a business owner, why do you need to be on LinkedIn? So here are my top reasons why you should be on LinkedIn. So of course, number 1 is to generate leads. Number 2 is to set yourself as an authority. So that's what I did. So what I did on LinkedIn more than 3 months is I have posted a lot of videos and content about video content marketing and video content creation, because that's what we want to be known for. I want my team to be known for video content creation, and we have not received direct leads on LinkedIn, but we have received referrals from them, like my friend saw you on LinkedIn and we want to get your services for video content creation. That's a couple of things. So 1 is to build your thought leadership on LinkedIn. That's what we did. Generate more leads. And the third one is to improve your employer branding. So because of LinkedIn, guess what? I know it's not a good thing, but we receive more applications per day versus customer inquiry. So we receive like twice the number of applications every day. I get DMs. It's a good thing because that means people find us. People like to work in our company, and that means we're getting known and people get to know about us. You improve your employer branding. That means people get to know your brand, so that improves brand awareness. So that's the 4th thing. So improve your brand awareness. Another thing that has helped us with the use of LinkedIn is we improved our customer relationship, because whenever we get new clients and we use them as case studies, we post them on LinkedIn, tag them, and all the clients that we've tagged and shared their profile on LinkedIn, they're very happy because they reach a wider audience and people get to know them more. Another thing that's good on LinkedIn is when you get to stay up to date with the latest trends in your industry, and you also get to be involved in communities. You know that there's LinkedIn groups now, and you get to know the latest events. And whenever you comment on LinkedIn, you reach a wider audience because people will see your comment, especially if you comment early on popular profiles on LinkedIn. We have our company channel, and I have my professional channel on LinkedIn, like my personal profile on LinkedIn. I can promote my company profile, and my company profile can promote my personal profile on LinkedIn. So we have that wider reach, and then we can tag each other. And then LinkedIn is more of a B2B channel, and when you're LinkedIn, you give value more, you give more information, and it's more of a professional channel. Of course, adding personal touch to your content will not harm your channel, but people still perceive LinkedIn as a professional channel. Even though I sometimes see that my impressions is not that high on some of my posts, LinkedIn is still pushing content creators, is helping creators reach more audience organically, and that is very helpful and compared to the other platforms that we're in. So one of the many questions I receive whenever someone tells me like, hey, I really like what you're doing on LinkedIn, I really like how you're being consistent on posting, question is, what content should I post and how can I post consistently on LinkedIn? My first tip for you to post consistently and to post an engaging content on LinkedIn is make sure you know your target audience on LinkedIn. So when you know your target audience on LinkedIn, and also if you know what they need, and also if you answer their questions, then you'll know what to post on LinkedIn. For example, my topic and my expertise is in video content creation, and I can help solve problems in content creation and social media. So this is something that we have an expertise in, and this is something that we have a lot of experience in. So when I post almost every day of the week, except sometimes I don't post on Sundays and on Saturdays, but if I post every day on the weekdays or even Saturday, I make sure 3 of them gives value. One of them is a personal story, and one of them is a client shout out. On LinkedIn, if you try to sell in every post that you do, like you sell your service or you sell your product on LinkedIn, people will stop following you. People will not engage in your content. So make sure whenever you give content, it's like what Gary Vaynerchuk says, give value, and it's like jab, 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 punch. That means give value first before asking for the sale. So same thing with everything that you do. Don't think, oh, if I give too much information, if I give too much value, then they will not take me or buy from me or get my service. So you should not have that mentality, because whenever you give value, you're helping someone, and you know how it is. If you have that mindset of helping somebody or someone else, it will come back to you. I believe that if you have in your heart to help somebody genuinely, you will be rewarded. And I believe that if it's not material reward, deep inside you'll feel happy, you'll feel peaceful. So I think that is very important. Another tip for you to have engagement on LinkedIn and build a following and get engaging followers is for you to post high quality images and high quality content. That means your photos, whenever you post on LinkedIn, it's not just an iPhone photo. It doesn't hurt if you have 1 or 2 iPhone photos, but it's important for you to have a quality image or a quality video whenever you're posting on LinkedIn. Like what I said before, LinkedIn is a professional platform. And of course, if you want to promote your personal brand on LinkedIn, it's important for you to strike a balance of raw content and your professional content. You should not always post iPhone videos and iPhone photos. You should have that professional touch so that you can build that trust that, hey, I'm professional and you can trust me, that I will really do an excellent job. And they will also see that, oh, if you post raw content, then you will see, oh, this is a real person. We see the authenticity in her and we trust her because she's a real human being. So that's very important for you to have that balance of professionalism and raw content, the real you. Even it's not TikTok and Instagram, having clear, concise posts on LinkedIn is helpful. Previously, I've been writing paragraph with the help of ChatGPT, and I'll be honest, I use ChatGPT whenever I post on LinkedIn, adding my personal touch and revising it according to my tone of voice. But before, I used to post paragraphs, and I wanted to sound really like professional, intellectual, and all that. But actually, LinkedIn is still a social media platform, and people like to skim on social media. If you notice my recent post, I try to make sure that I post line by line, like 1 line, space 1 line, and make it as concise as possible. Because even though people like to read and get information, they will not read a chunky paragraph post. They will just skim through it. It's important for you to still get that message across. LinkedIn is not a blog post. If you want to create that kind of content, create an article on LinkedIn. If you want to write in paragraphs and you want to give a lot of value and you want to write longer posts, then go write an article on LinkedIn. But for posting on LinkedIn, like captions, make sure that they're line by line. Make sure your first sentence is eye-catching and piques the interest of your audience, because a lot of your posts, if it's longer, they will only see the 1 line and then they will see more or read more. So make sure that your first line, the line that your audience sees, is a line that will relate to them, that will entice them to read more what you have written. One thing about LinkedIn that will help you grow your LinkedIn following and your engagement and your impressions is for you to respond to comments and to answer questions on LinkedIn. So also what I do is I try to allot like 10 to 30 minutes per day on LinkedIn. I look at posts that is related to my post, and if they ask questions, or I'll add a comment that will attract people and show people that I know the answer to that question. And I also make sure that I reply to every comment on my post. So if I receive a comment on my post, I make sure that I reply to that comment within the next 24 hours. And actually, this is what they said, LinkedIn will push your content if you receive engagement on your post within the first 2 hours of posting. I noticed some of my posts actually do not get a lot of impressions. Comment here if you see that's happening to you also. I post consistently on almost the same topics. It's either entrepreneurship, video content creation, photography, so anything about those topics. But I sometimes see that some posts that I have will only have very few likes, and then when I look at it, I will see that the impressions are very low. I think sometimes, I'm not sure, but let me know on the comments below if you think the same way, that sometimes LinkedIn will not push your post even though if it's a good post. But this is something that I realize is on my post, that if someone comments or engages on my post within the first 2 hours of posting, then that post gets pushed to a bigger audience and I get a lot more impressions. And my last tip for you to grow your following and grow your impressions and engagement on LinkedIn is to be consistent and never give up. In the first few months, they said, someone actually told me, like, why do you keep posting those videos on LinkedIn? They will not give you anything. They will not give you sales. So, and this is what, like I said before, my goal right now for our business is to reach the $1 million revenue. But again, it's not about reaching that number. The end goal for me is being a better person, being a better leader, glorifying God in the process, and learning a lot. This is a lifelong learning. This journey to $1 million revenue is a lifelong learning for me. And I feel that I'm learning a lot ever since I started this journey. And posting consistently on social media, for me, I've learned a lot. I have looked at numbers. I have learned a lot of things from other people as well. I have heard this story about the pottery. This is some lessons that you will learn from pottery itself. So there was this professor who split his class into two. He said to one group, he said, produce as many pots as you can in the next 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, you'll be presenting your pots for judging. And then he said on the other group, produce the best pot you can. So both groups started working on their projects. So the first group produced as many pots as they can, trial and error, and worked hard every day, producing pots, learning from the pots that they produce a better pot. So that's their process. Meanwhile, this other group, they did not start producing pots. They have researched. They have said, okay, what's the best pot? How can we make it better? What do you think is a formula to make a very good pot? So at the end of those 30 days, the best pots actually came from the group that produced as many pots as they can. So what's the lesson here? So content creators and those who want to post content on LinkedIn or any social media platform, the lesson here is don't overthink your content. Don't overthink, oh, it needs to be perfect before I post it. Don't say, I will not post content until it's 100% perfect. Just continue posting content, because during the process, you will learn along the way what's a good content and what content will resonate with your audience. Remember, it's not about being perfect, but being consistent and persistent. Quality will come out of the quantity. So be consistent, continue to post. You will learn from your mistakes. You will learn as you go along the way. And one day, the perfection will come. I'm not a perfectionist. I think that progress is always better than perfection. I hope you have learned a lot from this video. If you've watched this video, add me on LinkedIn. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe. Thank you and see you at the next one.